everyone, I'm Blazka Merkac, World Councillor of East Central Europe region, and welcome to the last of these 3 webinars, which in this 3rd year of our journey toward the 150th anniversary of the association, help us reach the present moment in the world, the Church, and our association. Our goal is to arrive at the World Congress in May, ready to present concrete proposals. Today we are joined by 5 guests who will reflect in these themes starting from their realities in different parts of Europe, Asia and Africa. Arokya from India, Veronica from Poland, Dorothy from Zambia, Juan Carlos from Australia, Année from Philippines. We will approach 3 key themes: young people and accompaniment, digital culture and communication, and the local church together with the Salesian family. As with the previous webinar, we are not looking for definitive answers today. Those will be shaping together in the Congress. Our task now is discernment, to read the situation, identify strengths and weaknesses, and open paths to renewed responses. We begin with the first theme, young people and accompaniment. Our question is, which characteristics of young people in your region best describe the context in which we try to accompany them? And what lights and shadows emerge when analyzing how the Salesian cooperators are responding to this reality? What traits of young people are most decisive for accompaniment? Where do you see lights in our response? And what must be honestly acknowledged?
Hi, young people and accompaniment in South Asia region. Today's young people have an increasing access to education and technology, and they are addicted to mobile devices and social media. That is, they are digitally connected and informed. Today's youth have strong family ties and cultural traditions. For example, family bonds, respecting elders, adapting to rituals and traditions. Today's youth have a diverse interest and diverse backgrounds, a mix of urban and rural, rich and poor, etc. Migrant culture is now a trend. Many youth aspire and seek better lives through education, skills, and career. Therefore, they move on to an unknown place as migrants. There is an increase of socially conscious youth, that is, awareness of social issues like inequality, environment, and justice based on caste, culture, and religion. Therefore, when we analyze the response of Salesian cooperators in this reality, we might come across the following lights and shadows. Lights or opportunities. It is open for the Salesian cooperators to engage the youth through education and skills by means of schools, colleges, and youth centers, social initiatives, and vocational training. But how we are going to use it, when and where? Since the younger ones are more passionate about the social cause and community service, focus on empowerment and social inclusion can be imbibed. Digital outreach can attract young people to address social justice connected with youth values. But again, how, when, and where? Shadows or challenges. Today's youth face challenges like poverty, inequality, and limited opportunities. Rapid urbanization and changing social dynamics can lead to disconnection and isolation. Peer pressure, work pressure, digital addiction, and poor economy may influence and destroy the development of youth. Limited resources and varying levels of access to education opportunities hinder support for the youth. And so, how are we based on the Salesian charism and spirituality, face these interventions? What are we as cooperators going to implement in our region for the young and accompaniment? Thank you.
Young people in Central and Eastern Europe are growing up in a context marked by rapid cultural change, digital influence, and increasing uncertainty. They live between traditional values and fast-moving Western trends, often feeling pressure and confusion, yet showing creativity, resilience, and a deep search for meaning. Economic instability, migration, and the impact of war shape their choices, while digital culture strongly influences their identity and relationships. At the same time, society and the church face individualism, fragile family life, declining participation, and fewer vocations. Priests and Salesians are increasingly overloaded, making the role of committed laypeople essential. In this environment, Salesian cooperators offer presence, warmth, and safe spaces where young people feel welcomed and valued. Many discover leadership, service, and spiritual depth through our activities, even as we face challenges such as aging communities, limited digital skills, and difficulty reaching the digital generation. This moment invites us to renew our formation, strengthen collaboration, and create spaces where young people can participate, co-create, and grow with us.
Young people and accompaniment. In the attempt of the Salesian cooperators to accompany young people in their journey as human beings and their search of meaning in life, Salesian cooperators cannot ignore the factors characterizing young people, particularly in the age of the ever-advancing society. The vibrancy that characterizes young people calls for accompaniment. They are full of energy that has to be directed positively in what is beneficial today and tomorrow. Young people's minds are never dormant. In their curiosity to discover the world, the presence of Salesian cooperators is imperative for guidance. Poverty and unemployment have not spared our young people. This is where young people may end up making wrong decisions, and Salesian cooperators are there to guide. In this demanding world, young people need to be accompanied to help shape and make positive decisions. Rapid cultural changes. There is a noticeable change in most cultures due to changing times. These changes sometimes result in people losing their real identities. They embrace other ways of living. A collapse in family structures. The definition of family has somehow been twisted from the traditional understanding of a family. Today, we embrace all kinds of family without judging. Salesian cooperators deal with children from all kinds of background.
Question number 1. Young people in accompaniment. Which characteristics of young people in your region best describe the context in which we try to accompany them? What lights and shadows emerge when analyzing how the Salesian cooperators are responding to this reality? Hello, my name is Juan Carlos Escobar from Melbourne, Australia, a Salesian cooperator for almost 40 years, ex-member of the World Council and provincial coordinator in Australia Pacific. East Asia Oceania region is home to 2.4 billion people. This is a large region which is marked by rapid development but also extreme social contrasts. Christians here are a small minority, except in the Philippines, East Timor, and the Pacific Islands. Young people here face enormous pressures to succeed in life without and lacking the emotional support that they need. This leads to mental issues such as anxiety, depression, burnout. They experience a growing social fragmentation, isolation, family breakdowns, and the impact of migration. Here are 4 major characteristics. Number 1, this is an anxious generation. Young people see the future with concern and anxiety. Their economic future is uncertain, unsure about the increasing cost of living, job insecurity in housing, and climate disasters. Number 2, they live in a connected loneliness. The digital immersion defines their identity, like the number of likes they get. But many feel alone in a highly secular society. They are hyper-connected, but often report living in a spiritual desert and suffering from spiritual hunger. Number 3, displaced and marginalized. Conflict, poverty, lack of opportunities create large pockets of displaced and migrant youth who are highly vulnerable to exploitation, trafficking, and abuse. And finally, across the region, there's a silent cry for meaning. Youth are moving away from formal religion, away from tradition, and yet they seek meaningful accompaniment, authentic mentors, listen rather than lecture. Young people want to be heard. They're eager to be protagonists, to be part of the solution creation, despite their low trust in institutions. Now, some of the lights that the solution cooperators' presence in the region are, well, solution cooperators are professionals with a mission. They have a strong commitment and witnessing to the charism, and that drives their action beyond helping and volunteering. They bring their expertise in education, communication, arts, sports, protection of children and youth, also in humanitarian helps, helping migrants and disaster victims, such as the case in the Philippines and in Myanmar. Cooperators have been at the front line responding to natural disasters and social unrest, providing not just bread, but also a solution smile and accompaniment. Also, there's a strong movement towards co-responsibility. Increasingly, the cooperators are getting involved in the decision-making along with the SDVs and FMAs. It reflects a more mature, lay-led solution mission. Our strengths include family spirit, generosity, our professionalism, a mature and stable Catholic identity, and the close collaboration with the solution family. Now, some of the shadows and challenges across the region. Number 1, our aging membership and this generational gap. While countries like Vietnam and the Philippines have a youthful association, other provinces are facing an aging membership with difficulty attracting young adult professionals. Young people often view the commitment as too institutional or too time-consuming. Also, it's not easy to adapt the life of a center to meet the young people's needs and times. Number 2, the risk of doing over being. There's a persistent shadow of activism. We're busy, too busy. Cooperators working in schools, for example, they become overly professionalized, reducing their presence among the most vulnerable, neglecting their own spiritual formation, installation identity, and risking the loss of the charism. Number 3, fragmented spirituality. The secular culture sometimes lead to a double life, where the Salesian promise is kept separate from the professional and socio-political life, rather than being the leaven that transforms it. And finally, the vocation of the Salesian cooperator, as presented by the project of apostolic life, is not always deeply understood. This creates confusion and dilution of our vocation. In summary, the context of East Asia, Oceania calls us to new approaches, a more authentic accompaniment, digital engagement, empowering young youth leadership, and addressing the real struggles that the young people face. Our response must be adaptable, courageous, rooted in the Salesian spirit of presence, family, and loving kindness.
Thank you all. A few threads emerge: the importance of stable presence, qualified lay formation, shared methodologies across works, and a language capable of reaching the hearts and questions of today's youth. Let's move forward to the second theme: digital culture and communication. Our question is: how is digital culture shaping relationships, faith, and community life in your region? And what opportunities and limits appear when we observe how the Salesian cooperators position ourselves within this environment? So how does digital culture reshape relationships? What is the impact of faith and participation? Where do you see opportunities and limits?
Digital culture in South Asia region has grown up rapidly. Mobile and internet penetrations has become part of life. Social media like WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, X page are now most popular means of communications. Online content influences almost every sectors. All these connect people across distances, strengthening relationship. Face-to-face communication using platforms has increased tremendously. It provides access to the resources of spiritual content. Online prayers and faith communities were developed. Online mass, webinar offer new ways to connect with faith. Digital evangelization, that is sharing faith-inspired content and spiritual guidance, is available now. Online streaming, online shopping, digital culture, online relaxation, and hybrid community engagement are few examples of the growth of digital culture. Limits and challenges. Digital distraction spoils spiritual practices and community participation. Over-reliance on digital can reduce physical and community interaction. Unequal access to technology separates people. Ensuring genuineness in connections and community in digital space can be challenging. Navigating digital content and interactions requires discernment and guidance. Digital addiction kills community life. Online harassment is an hazard. Authenticity in online transaction is a question mark. And so, how are we, the Salesian cooperators, balance these limits and win the souls of today's youth? What are the practical ways to make use of digital culture and communication to reach the young at risk? Thank you.
Digital culture is deeply shaping relationships, faith, and community life in Central and Eastern Europe. Young people increasingly build their identity online, finding creativity and connection, but also pressure, comparison, and loneliness. Faith is influenced as well. Digital platforms offer access to prayer and formation, yet they also encourage fast consumption, making deep spiritual growth more difficult. Community life has become hybrid, and belonging now depends on our presence, both in person and online. For Salesian cooperators, this reality brings important opportunities. A meaningful digital presence allows us to reach young people who rarely come to church, to share the Salesian spirit with simplicity and joy, and to strengthen communication and formation across distances. Yet, we also face limits. Many cooperators lack digital skills. Online relationships can remain superficial, and our visibility among youth is often weak. Across the region, there is growing awareness that renewing our digital communication is essential. We are invited to grow in competence, authenticity, and collaboration so that our digital presence reflects the warmth and relational depth of Don Bosco's charism.
Digital culture plays a major role in shaping relationships, faith, and community life. For instance, social media and messaging platforms make it easier to stay connected, form creative social networks, and share ideas across distances. Digital spaces have increased access to live stream services and spiritual discussions, making religious participation more flexible. However, this sometimes lacks in depth and long-term commitment as compared to in-person relationships. With the environment, digital culture is both an opportunity and a responsibility. It allows meaningful contributions. This platform has helped Salesian cooperators to gather information, relay information, and stay connected.
Hi everyone, I'm Ms. Arlene G. Sasan, Provincial Coordinator of Philippine South Province. Digital culture in our region profoundly shape how young people build relationships, express themselves, and access information. Social media has become their primary space for interaction, learning, and even identity formation. While it offers access to faith resources and community connection, it also weakens face-to-face relationships, shorten attention spans, and expose them to misleading and harmful content. Today, many forms of abuses occur in the digital arena: cyberbullying, exploitation, exposure to inappropriate materials, online manipulation, and deceptive influences that seriously affect the well-being of young people. Sadly, parents are often too busy or insufficiently informed to recognize these dangers or notice when their children are already affected. This reality calls for greater awareness, education, and accompaniment for both the young and their families. At the same time, digital platforms provide valuable opportunities for Salesian cooperators to evangelize, to communicate, and remain present in the lives of the young through online formation and faith sharing. These tools allow a wider reach and creative ways to witness Salesian spirituality. However, this situation calls us to intensify our family ministry program, recognizing that parents are the primary educators and guides of their children in the digital world. There is a pressing need to include digital parenting formation that equips families to understand digital culture, set healthy boundaries, detect risks, and guide responsible media use with faith and discernment. Young people themselves must also be educated and empowered to protect their dignity, their privacy, and well-being online. For this reason, digital education should be integrated into both the initial and ongoing formation of Salesian cooperators, enabling us to respond competently and proactively to the realities faced by the youth today. This makes our ministry more challenging, but also more urgent and meaningful. The limits appear when digital engagement replaces personal presence, when misinformation spreads rapidly, and when cooperators and families lack the formation to use digital media effectively. Maintaining a healthy balance between online presence and authentic personal accompaniment remains a key challenge. To be more effective in the lives of young people today, Salesian cooperators must intentionally cultivate both digital competence and relational presence, being present where the young are, modeling responsible and faith-filled use of media, investing in ongoing formation, prioritizing personal listening, guidance, and accompaniment that reflects Don Bosco's preventive system of reason, religion, and loving kindness, and effectively partnering with families through strengthened family ministry initiatives focused on digital parenting.
Clear points. Digital culture is not optional. It is a mission field. We need intentionality, trained cooperators, safeguarding, and content that leads from clicks to communities, from messages to encounters. We continue with the theme of a great importance for our journey toward the Congress, the local church and the Salesian family. Our question is, which features of ecclesial life and of the Salesian family in your region influence our presence and collaboration, and what insights emerge when evaluating how the Salesian cooperators are participating, contributing, and growing within this framework? What features of ecclesial life most influence our presence? Within the Salesian family, what dynamics are helping or challenging our growth? Where are Salesian cooperators participating and contributing most fruitfully? And where do we need clear roles, better coordination, or renewed formation?
Ecclesial life refers to our participation and involvement in the church. In South Asia region, the church is now focusing on the lay people involvement, especially the synodal process as referred by the church. Lay people and the cooperators in the parish can become a part of synodal journey and participate in decision-making process. Emphasis on youth ministry and family ministry is carried over by the lay collaborators. Growing focus on social justice, ecology, and integral human development is coordinated by the lay cooperators. As Salesians in the world, cooperators support the mission of the synodal church. They involve in dialogue and collaboration with other faith, promoting harmony and understanding. I feel definitely we the lay people are growing within the framework if we are involved amidst of the challenges in our family life. How are we as cooperators participate, contribute, and grow in a better way, and how do we inspire others by our role model based on gospel values? How do we encourage others to participate in this synodal process? Thank you.
In Central and Eastern Europe, the life of the local church is marked by both renewal and fragility. Many dioceses face declining vocations and aging communities, yet there remains a strong desire for authentic community, meaningful formation, and missionary outreach. Parishes increasingly depend on committed lay people, creating a natural space for Salesian cooperators to contribute with their spirituality and practical service. The Church also carries the memory of political transitions, war, and social instability, which shapes how communities understand solidarity and hope. The Salesian family in our region is diverse, but often small. In several countries, the presence of SDBs and FMAs is limited, making lay groups even more essential. Where collaboration works well, there is unity and strong support for youth ministry. Though differences in information and communication can make cooperation uneven. Within this reality, cooperators offer reliability, mission, and a bridge between the Salesian family and the wider Church. Despite challenges, aging membership, uneven formation, and limited resources, the region remains united in hope. We are invited to renew formation, strengthen collaboration, and work together with courage so that our presence continues to enrich both the Church and the Salesian family.
Local Church and Salesian family. The two dimensions of the ecclesial life and the interaction of the Salesian cooperators with the other groups of the Salesian family is a product of the distinctive features that characterize the local church. These features have an influence in the manner in which the Salesian cooperators conduct themselves in the discharge of their vocation. Hope and joy, mentioned in the purple document Ecclesia in Africa of September 1995. This is a welcome characteristic for the Salesian cooperators, since the aspect of hope and joy of the Salesian spirituality, young people are encouraged to live a life of joyful hope as a distinctive mark of holiness. When Salesian cooperators take part in dealing with the young people who are influenced by hope and joy, they contribute to their growth, faith. Therefore, this does not only build young people, but the whole Salesian family.
Question number 3. Which features of the Catholic Church life of the Salesian family in East Asia Oceania region influence the presence and collaboration of Salesian cooperators in the Salesian mission? What insights emerge when evaluating how the Salesian cooperators are participating and contributing and growing within this framework? In the East Asia Oceania region, the life of the Catholic Church strongly shapes the mission of the Salesian cooperators. In most countries, Catholics are a small minority living in a multi-religious or sometimes no religion and rapidly changing societies. This means that the Church operates in a missionary, conversational and relational way rather than from a position of dominance. As a result, lay people, including Salesian cooperators, we play a crucial role in living and witnessing Jesus' gospel values in our everyday lives. At the same time, the Salesian family in the region is well structured, is visible, and is collaborative, with a strong presence in schools, parishes, and youth centers. Our regional gatherings and formation programs help strengthen this unity. However, this also creates a little bit of tension because cooperators can be seen sometimes as collaborators in the works rather than autonomous, independent lay apostles, fully committed to the mission and service to the community. When we evaluate participation and growth, we see encouraging signs. Cooperators are active in youth ministry, information, and leadership initiatives. Many are bringing their Salesian spirituality into families, workplaces, and society. Their secular vocation is actually their greatest strength, especially in contexts where religious may have limited access to public life. The key insight is this: the future vitality of the Salesian mission in East Asia Oceania will depend greatly on how deeply the Salesian cooperators embrace their own identity. Not only as just helpers within the institutions, but as independent missionary disciples, transforming society from within and accompanying young people where they are in the spirit of Don Bosco.
What emerged? The need for co-responsibility, clear mission agreements, shared planning, and ongoing formation, so that collaboration in the local church and within the Salesian family becomes credible, joyful, and fruitful. Our sincere thanks to Arokia, Veronica, Arleni, Dorothy, and Carlos for their testimony and for helping us read where the association stands today in significant parts of Asia, Europe, and Africa regarding these three crucial themes. We invite all of you to rewatch this webinar to deepen the reflections. And now, let us conclude with the final prayer.
Let us place ourselves in the presence of the Lord and pray to conclude this webinar.
Pray for the renewed commitment of Salesian cooperators to accompany young people on their journey of faith and generous service. Lord Jesus, you who set Don Bosco's heart on fire so that he would devote himself totally to young people, especially the poorest, we entrust our commitment to them to you today. Make us passionate about you and dedicated to young people, capable of listening to their cries, sharing their joys and their wounds, walking with them on the paths of faith. Give us your spirit and your apostolic zeal to identify new challenges that come from the digital world of the young people, and to invent new and meaningful ways of accompanying them. Make us capable of creating welcoming space where every young person feels loved, respected, and called by name. May our centers, active and operative in the local church, be spaces of high sensitivity to what is happening around us, and where we learn to serve others, especially the poorest. O Mary, help of Christians, guide our gaze and our hearts. Teach us to cherish and nurture the seed of faith in the lives of young people. Accompany us so that we may become signs and bearers of God's love among them. Amen.
Our Father, Hail Mary,